Welcome back. A live look at New York City. It is 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Women may be the key to solving the global leadership crisis. That was one of the biggest takeaways from the Forbes annual list of the world's 100 most powerful women, which was released yesterday. The list highlights the most inspirational female CEOs, entertainers, politicians, philanthropists, policymakers, and in the case of this list, even a fictional character. Here to discuss, the editor of Forbes Women, Maggie McGrath. Maggie, great to have you on for this. The list revealed a complex picture of female power. Take us through some of the highlights.
Well, Mika, this is the 20th annual edition of the Forbes list of the world's 100 most powerful women. And it is the definitive look at female power, the state of female power in 2023. Number one for the second year in a row is European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Her policies affect the lives of 450 million people in Europe, and it could be as many as 500 million people in Europe if, as according to her September State of the Union, she is able to admit countries like Ukraine and Moldova into the EU. Number two is the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, also for the second year in a row, another crucial policymaker in a moment of high inflation and tough economic times, especially for consumers. And number three is U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. She is the most powerful woman in American politics. But, elsewhere on the list, we see women flexing their power in other industries. Taylor Swift jumped the ranks from 79 to number 5 this year on the power of her tour, on the economic effect of this tour. The U.S. Travel Association estimates that she added more than $5 billion to state economies. And, we also have women breaking glass ceilings, like Tarciana Medeiros became the first female CEO of Banco do Brasil in its 215-year history. She's number 24.
And you interviewed philanthropist Melinda Gates, who came in 10th on the list, about the state of female leadership. What did she have to say about that?
Ooh, she had a lot to say, and we talked about how for as many women as on this list, we are still not there yet in so many parts of the world when it comes to women in leadership. I mean, just look at the G20. You have Ursula von der Leyen and you have the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. And we talked about why is it that there aren't more women in power, and she really points to the caregiving crisis globally. We know we have a caregiving crisis here in the States. We had federal funding. The pandemic era funding expired at the end of September. But globally, she talks to women around the world who need better access to affordable childcare. And we know when they have that support for their careers, they're able to then power their careers and step into leadership.
Okay, and I'm noting there are some very interesting, notable women over the age of 50 who made the new power list. I want to hear about them. Also, why don't we just remind everyone that the deadlines for our global 50 over 50 list is fast approaching. Maggie, go.
So Ursula von der Leyen is 65. She took the helm of the European Commission 4 years ago. Mikiko Ono broke a major glass ceiling in Japan earlier this year. She's 63 years old, became the CEO of Suntory Food and Beverage, a rare woman in leadership in Japan. Less than 1% of the Tokyo Stock Exchange is a woman. And we also have Nirmala Sitharaman. She's the finance minister of India. She is 64 now. She became the first full-time finance minister of India, female, 4 years ago. All of these people are wonderful candidates for the 50 over 50 EMEA and Asia list, and we have nominations open until December 10th. So the deadline is fast approaching. If you or someone you admire is stepping into your power over the age of 50 and creating your greatest impact, head to Forbes.com today to tell us all about yourself or that person that you admire.
All right, Maggie McGrath, as always, thank you so much for being on this morning. We will see you soon for sure.